Hey y'all, I'm so excited for today's layout. I'm working in collaboration with Janet at RTS Scrapbooking along with some other ladies who are working on the 6x6 series that Janet is hosting using Scrapbook Generation 6x6 paper pad series that is available at scrapbookgeneration.com. This is a course by Allison Davis over there, and it is normally $15, but Janet has a code you can use to get a discount on this course. But I just wanted to show y'all something real quick before I talked about my layout. If you go and look on their site and look at best-selling items, you will see the first page is all freebies, things that are zero cost, and then you get to the second page and they have the whole picture course by Allison Davis and Debbie Sanders hard copy. And then if you scroll down a little bit more, you will see they have some white card stock on sale for 56 cents. And then the third item is the 6x6 paper series class. And I think a lot of the ladies who watch RTS Scrapbooking had something to do with moving this course up to line to number 3 for their best-selling paid content. So for my layout today, I have picked the paper pad My Bright Life by Jen Hadfield. And I purchased this recently at Tuesday morning for $2.99 when they had a lot of the Jen Hadfield products in the store. And so I haven't used any of this paper yet, so I'll be glad to break into that. And then here are my photos I'm going to use. I have 2 photos, and this is my little granddaughter who has recently moved back to our state. My stepson is in the service, and he was stationed here locally at a base. So we are so excited to have her back. She just turned 3. And these photos were taken at a birthday party for my youngest stepson. But that's not going to be the subject of the layout. It's just going to be a couple photos of her. And on this photo, I had already cropped it some before I printed it. But I'm going to cut her out of the photo and just use the picture of her in it. And this is a 3.5 by 5. And this one will be smaller. So instead of using a sketch from the 6x6 paper pad series, I'm going to use a Scrapbook Generation sketch that was free. This is by Debbie Sanders, and it is from August 2018. So that's another option that you have with your 6x6 paper pad, is to use a sketch that has measurements in it that are less than 6 inches, and they have quite a few. So I just picked which one I wanted to work with and chose this one. And the measurements are, for the background squares, the measurements are 2 3/4 inches, but I think I'm going to bump it up to 3 3/4 inches because it calls for a 4x4 photo, which I'm not going to use. I'm going to use a little bit bigger photo. So I don't want to cover up all my background squares with a bigger photo. So I'm just going to adjust and make the squares a little bit bigger. And then it calls for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different patterns, including the background saying that's a solid pattern. And then they have a striped one for the matting of the photos. So basically you're going to use 6 patterns for these background squares. So I'm going to pull 6 pieces of paper out of this paper pad and cut them down to 3 3/4 and then photo around my corners and start working on my layout. Okay, so I think I got a little overzealous on my measurements by adding an inch to each of my squares because it's not giving me the look that I wanted. It pretty much took up the whole page, and for some reason I'm was cutting 3 3/4, but in my mind I was thinking 3 inches, that I would still have a nice edge around my layout. So I'm going to have to adjust my adjustments, and I'm going to cut these down to a little over 3 inches instead, so it'll give me a little more outside edge. And also, when I cut them this large, I could only use 1 piece of paper per square, which I do have, you know, plenty of scraps left over for other things, but I couldn't cut 2 designs out of the 1 sheet of paper. So luckily, since it was a new pad of paper, I just duplicated 3 of the designs, because I could have picked 3 different ones, but I think that would have made it like really busy. So I just pulled out another sheet of the floral, the bird, and the blue. So when we come back, hopefully I will have adjusted my adjustments and I will be happier with my layout. Okay, so here is my completed layout, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. As you can see, I did trim those square pieces in the background down just a little bit, so it gave me more of a white edging around my layout. And I did not use a piece of pattern paper on the back of it, because I felt that would have made it just really too busy to put pattern on pattern. But I wanted to put some more color on there, so I just cut this down 1/2 inch on 2 sides and then centered it on another piece of pattern paper. So for my squares, I did ink around the edges a little bit, real lightly, and that's just a little trick you can use when you're using a lot of different patterns. It just kind of helps make the layout more cohesive when you do something common to all of the squares. So I just inked that gray around it, and also just a little bit around my white cardstock. Now I'm just going to talk about it from the top to the bottom. I punched out 3 banners with my Big Shot, and then use these little gold labels here, there, and there for my to include it into my title. Most of the chipboard came from Jen Hadfield, from her probably patio party and My Bright Life. These little heart puffy stickers are from Willa Lane by Maggie Holmes. And then also these little labels right here, they say "You're the best and love you all always." Now for my photos, it called for 3 photos, but I used the 2 photos and then just this little square that says "I'm growing every day." So when I'm finished with the layout, I had 2 squares over here that did not have anything in it. So I just didn't like the look of that, so I just took some little thickers and put the month and the year. These were taken earlier in October. And my title is Sweet Adorable You, because that is what she is. What 3-year-old isn't? And I think the colors and the pattern I chose really just suits her little personality, because, you know, 3-year-olds are just always so comical and sweet and amazing most of the time. You know, they do have their moments, but for the majority of the time, she is a very sweet little girl. So I'm just really pleased with my overall layout. And if you watched this video to the end, I do have a little small giveaway in the spirit that Janet has been doing a giveaway with her videos when she's doing this series. So I do have this Bow Bunny. Hopefully it is in focus, because my camera has been, my phone on my camera has been really aggravating. It likes to go in and out of focus, and it used to didn't do that. So, but anyway, this is a stamp set of some little cameras and like a little film wheel and a film strip. I had picked these up at Tuesday morning and didn't realize or pay attention that I had already bought them, so this is just an extra set that I had. And they're by the Say Cheese, that's the name of them, Say Cheese stamp from 2018. So if you would like a chance to win this package of stamps, just in the comments write something that has stamp or stamping in the comment, and you will be put in for a drawing. Since it is such a small item, it can be US and international. I'll be glad to ship it internationally. So I will end this giveaway at some point in November after Janet over at RTS Scrapbooking ends her series. And just check out the links below and follow along and see what some of the other ladies have made. And I really appreciate you watching. Thanks. Bye.